Chainlink is heavily involved in DC because we see DC as a key barometer of what the rest of the world will do. So the regulations that come out in DC about DeFi, about various technical standards for things like cross-chain and data and proof of reserves, across how institutional market participants like large banks and asset managers can tokenize things, will impact both the US and the global economy and the global method of tokenization. What we're doing there is we're talking to all the top agencies, the Treasury, the SEC, the CFTC. We're talking to congressmen, senators, the executive branch. And we're basically helping define what the right approach is on these three key dimensions: DeFi, institutional adoption of blockchain technology for tokenization of funds, stablecoins, and other key things that institutions want to do, as well as how to set technical standards that are secure and reliable for cross-chain connectivity, data standards, proof of reserves, identity, and other things. And our view is that by doing this, we will be able to set Chainlink up as a standard both in the US and globally. And we're doing this on a practical level by working with various blockchain associations, meeting with the senators and congressmen, meeting with the regulators, meeting with folks in the executive branch, and clarifying for them what the right model is. Now, the good news for Chainlink is that Chainlink isn't pushing any one specific chain towards them. It isn't pushing any one specific use case towards them. It's pushing actually the types of things that people in DC and people in the government care about, namely infrastructure, namely a plan for how the digital asset economy will succeed in the US. And Chainlink, because it's agnostic across chains, because it's agnostic across use cases, and because it works already with so many different central banks in so many jurisdictions and has done so many both DeFi and capital markets transactions in those jurisdictions, and has been able to do them in a way that complies with the laws of those jurisdictions, can in many ways uniquely describe how a successful digital assets ecosystem can grow and evolve and succeed. And so the governments and the central banks, I think, find this expansive and agnostic view from Chainlink to be quite valuable and useful, because it's not limited to any one use case, it's not limited to any one chain, and it's inherently thought of and built up in a way where it actually enables them to transact not just in their domestic economy, but globally and internationally. That's one of the main values of the blockchain industry that we think that the US and other jurisdictions will greatly benefit from, is that the friction and the complexity of transactions across borders will go down. Which is, by the way, why so many cryptocurrencies and token projects are so successful, because when they launch a token, they're not launching it just into a domestic economy. They're launching it into a global economy. And that's really, I think, maybe one of the main driving forces on the economic growth side of the government's view of all this.